So welcome to day 69 of scaling my marketing agency to 10k a month. Um, Pretty crazy few days basically, as you would have seen from the past couple of videos. It started basically, I'm even gonna have to pull up the calendar here to like see everything. But it started basically on Saturday the 7th of March, which would have been like day 66, I think. So then we woke up here where I physically am now behind me in Birmingham. We then took the train around midday into to New Street and then took a train up to Manchester, Piccadilly. Had a whole day there. We had a hotel by Salford Quays. Stayed overnight, woke up in the morning, had a lovely day again in Manchester, going around like the Media City area and then going back into the city centre. And overall just enjoying our day basically and having a lovely weekend. We then came back on that evening on Sunday, went to sleep, then woke up again, and around midday again we took the train into London. So essentially Sunday morning we woke up in Manchester, Sunday night we went to bed in Birmingham, and then Monday night we went to sleep in London. So it's kind of like all the three main cities working our way down Sunday to then the next day, Monday, Sunday morning, Sunday night, and then Monday night. I guess overall it didn't feel like insane because when you think about it, I feel like it oftentimes it feels like a much bigger thing than it is. Like for example, the process, or like just in general, going to like a foreign country, for example, getting on a flight and going to Paris. Like from here specifically, you can make it incredibly easy, and I love that. I'm kind of going on a tangent, but what it's made me think about the last few days has been the world is a much smaller place when you have the resources to be able to get around and not worry about it too much. And that's like a massive part of the goal. As you would have seen from yesterday's video, I made a humongous investment into the business, something that was very scary, something that I technically didn't have the money for, but through the glory of 0% interest finance, I am putting my balls on the line basically to make sure that I can have all of the resources and all of the things that I need in order to scale this business to where I want to get it to. We're at the point now where I can prove I can run ads, I can run a profitable ad campaign, I can get clients on. Now it's a case of how do I restructure myself so that I can increase my prices, so that I can give a really good result and fulfillment to my clients, and how can I continue to manage that as I scale up. Now I'm looking at different pricing and loads of different things at the minute in terms of I was able, the first time I basically increased my price on a call, they went straight ahead and bought basically. It was the £400 setup fee and then the 15%. To be completely honest, I think just the whole idea of the 15% can get incredibly messy. What appointments have people got? What appointments haven't they? Trying to basically worry about that a lot. Just move this back a little bit. I feel like that just makes it very messy. So I want to just move to a PIF model, like a pay in full for the program. So for example, if I did 90 days, I would look to do that for £1,500. So it would be basically £500 a month. If somebody has a financial objection around, that's quite a lot of money up front, you straight away pull them over to the Klarna option for £500 a month. That will mean that I receive the money in full. Klarna takes a bit of a fee, it will be about 5%. Basically, I would walk away with basically £75 less than that, so about 14.25. And obviously that, because of everything with Stripe, that amount of money would come into my account within like 3 business days. So incredible stuff basically. If I could do that, and then again, all I need to do over the course of the month to even hit, let's say, 6 grand a month, is to sell one of those a week. And if I could do one of those a week, I'm making more money. I've made more money and generated more revenue um, than like even my parents make, for example. So in that case, it makes everything seem a lot more easier. It gets a client retained on a longer time frame. They understand that things might take a bit longer, and therefore I can work with them a lot better to deliver really good results into that second and third month, to the point where I can continue to retain them for another 3 months, for example, and sign them up for the exact same fee, or exactly how we would move forward. To give you an idea of day 69 and what I've done is it's been Tuesday, so we've come back from London. Like we had to wake up and, well, we left the hotel room around 10 a.m. It was good that we left about 20 minutes, half an hour earlier than what we had to, because one of the tube lines was affected, blah, blah, blah. Basically, we were able to get on the train fine, though. Incredibly quick when you're just on the Avanti and there's like barely anybody on it. When it's in like the middle of the day on a Monday, it's great. Like we left at, I think the train was at like 11:10, and by 12:30 we were back in Birmingham. And like during that time I was just on my laptop and sorting some things, sending an email back to one of my clients. So honestly, it all worked out really well. So very happy about that. And then now obviously got back and just I'm basically trying to sort out a lot of things to do with mentality. The reason why is because this is honestly my biggest constraint at the minute. Like I said, I've invested in a program. I'm going to complete the rest of the payment and get onboarded into it in the next couple of weeks. That will give me everything I need to be able to get to these bigger figures. The problem, and the only thing that's holding me back at the minute, is honestly mindset. I've basically been doing like a lot of research into this, like in the last couple of hours, which is that people talk about the way you can change your situation from where you are now to where you want to be is, if you think of it like an onion, and think of it this way, the core of the onion, or the middle layer, however you want to see it, is your identity. You go one out and there's beliefs, further out, thoughts, and the last one is actions. So a lot of people, when they try and change like a big thing in their life, let's say a lot of things people want to change in their life are to do with the health and wealth kind of category. Say somebody wants to earn a bit more money, or they want to sort out their expenses, they want to wipe off some debt, they want to overall do maybe a mashup of all of these things to basically improve their financial situation for their family, for example, for themselves, to be able to have a better life in the future. Or if somebody wants to eat a bit more healthy, less junk food, less fast food, because they want to have a better mood on a day-to-day basis and just live longer. All of these things, a lot of people think initially, okay, you're thinking straight to the actions. Now, what I've been learning over the last couple of hours and really trying to drill into myself is that this is a backwards way of thinking. Because if you're trying to think about, okay, I want to lose weight, so the first thing I'm thinking about is, okay, I need to do 3 runs a week, go into the gym, I need to eat this diet, okay, I've got ChatGPT, it's made me a diet, etc., etc. Those are the actions, bosh. In 3 months' time, is that person likely to be in a better position? Honestly, it's hard to tell because obviously there's no other information, but I would say no, based on the fact that the way you do it is you work from the middle of the onion out. So what I mean by that is, to change your circumstances in your life situation, you have to change your identity first. So what that means is what the human mind does is that it makes true what we believe. So for me, about money, for example, if I believe that money's hard to come by, that why would someone pay £1,500, for example, after spending an hour with me on a call? Why would somebody, do that? I don't believe that I can give them good results. If I think all of these things, how will that reflect on all of the things that come after it? How is that going to affect my beliefs? How's it going to affect my thoughts? Because my beliefs and my thoughts will affect my actions. So the idea is that if before everything else you change your identity to be the person who is the type of person that can earn 10k a month, for example, which is this challenge, not really a challenge, but is what this kind of series is following. If you're able to get to that point, then, and you can change your identity to have the characteristics of somebody that earns that amount, then you can then go through the phases. So you have the identity, like I am somebody that earns 10k a month. You then build out the beliefs of somebody that has that. 10k isn't a lot of money. You can easily, I can fulfill and generate value that is much higher than that on a monthly basis for clients. I have all these different characteristics. It then affects obviously your beliefs, and basically from what I've been saying now, that you believe you can and you are a certain way. That then affects your thoughts in terms of, well, if I believe that I can earn 10k a month, I'm going to think things which are going to then lead to me acting upon them. So you can see how it goes down, but the idea is that if you think about the actions first, as soon as you wake up one day, let's go back to the losing weight example. As soon as you wake up one day and you're like, oh, I fucking hate running. I hate getting up early. If it's in the winter months, for example, I don't want to be out in pitch black with a fucking torchlight on my head, running, or I don't want to be having to drive to the gym. It's so early. I like my bed, etc. As soon as that happens, is the action are you gonna actually go and do the run? No. And people say, well, it was because you didn't have the motivation. Motivation, as we know, is something that is actually built from doing actions, not that just arrives so that you can do them. So then it becomes, okay, well, you need to build discipline. Well, being disciplined is part of your identity. It's part of what you believe that you are. So what I'm getting to is the person that's trying to lose weight that's just thinking about what they have to do, as soon as any conflict or any difficulty happens, they are not going to be eating correctly, they're not going to be exercising correctly, and they won't get the results 3 months down the line. Somebody that says, okay, I want to lose weight, what is the identity, the desired life envisionment, basically, of what a fit person, my fit self in the future will be. What will it be? They're somebody that eats healthily, they do these things, they do those things. Once you build that into your identity, you then create beliefs from that. Those beliefs create thoughts, and you then act those thoughts out. And it becomes from that identity only. So that's what I'm trying to work on at the minute, to basically shift my identity to become a person that is able to and believes that I am a person that can earn that kind of money and much more even. And I've got no doubt that I can. So that's a great thing to begin with. I've got no doubt that I can earn that amount. And so I just need to do a bit more work to be able to make sure that my actions represent that belief, because at the minute they're not. I have been sleeping in. I have been feeling at times quite low mood, lost, but the truth is all the information is there. I just need to act it out. And the biggest thing I need to do first is make sure that I have the discipline and I have the fucking, like, you need to go and do this, because in like 3-4 months you're going to be back home where you started and have nothing to show for it. And I don't want that. And I want to be able to go to Paris with my girlfriend. And that's not going to happen if I don't fix this. So, in a sense, I'm basically working from there to outwards to make sure that my actions can change. Because like I said about 5 minutes ago, you will carry out, and the mind, the brain, carries out what it believes to be true. If you believe that you are a happy, successful person, you genuinely believe it, it's your identity, you're a happy, successful person, you will carry out the actions to make sure that that's true. And the only reason that wouldn't be true is because you don't genuinely believe it. This isn't some manifestation bullshit, it's just how it works, and that's what I'm working on now. But that's been a long video, so enough for day 69.